My name is Paris. I am a fourth-year medical student here at the University of Michigan, and I'm applying into general surgery. I'll be finding out where I match in less than 24 hours now. So I am in the Patients and Populations branch, and I am in the Global Health and Disparities Path of Excellence. I picked my Path of Excellence first, so I'll talk about that first. I came into medical school knowing that I was very interested in disparities work. Um, you know, I think just having the background that I do, it was really important to me that I start to figure out ways to improve access to quality healthcare for um, particularly communities of color. And I thought that being in a path of excellence where I could meet on a regular basis with other people who shared my interests within the medical field would be really great for that. And it was sort of a similar thought process that led me to Patients and Populations. By that point, we pick our branches after our second year of medical school. And by that point, I knew I wanted to do something surgical, but I never really let go of this idea that I wanted the focus of my career to really be on how do I help people within a given population. And there's actually a procedures branch as well. And I was kind of torn between those two things, but ultimately decided, I'll be able to get the procedural education during my residency training, but I don't know where I'm going to get this sort of population health focus otherwise. And that's how I ended up where I am. So my time has been interesting just due to the fact that it's mostly been during the pandemic. I did participate in the Henry Ford elective at the beginning of 2020. And so I actually spent 3.5 months living and working in Detroit and rotating at the Henry Ford Hospital. And that really was just an opportunity that was designed to give students a chance to look at a different healthcare system and work with a different patient population, which is something that was really interesting to me as someone who's really interested in communities of color. While we do see some, Black patients here at U of M, it wasn't nearly the concentration that I would have, wanted to gain exposure to and that I had access to while I was in Detroit. And so I really loved that opportunity. Another thing that I got involved in was just some research on my own. It wasn't directly organized through either GHD or Patients and Populations, but it was kind of spurred by some of the conversations that I had while being a part of those groups. And so I was doing some research looking at the role that interpreter services play in hospitalized patient care. And I ended up getting really involved in that. I'm really excited about the idea of continuing it during residency, and I think we have the ability to really do some good. My favorite part of the branches has been how flexible it is. So I really enjoyed my second year of medical school, but I think that it was really nice to come into the last 2 years having a pretty good idea of what I wanted to do with my career, but still wanting to work a couple of things out for myself. And so because I was in the branches, I was able to do that. I was able to do some additional surgical rotations and figure out what type of surgeon I wanted to be. And in addition, I was able to get a lot of things, a lot of our kind of core requirements done and out of the way really early, which is something that you can't get done in a traditional medical school curriculum. And what I loved about that is that I was able to get all of those rotations done, finish up my step 2 exams, get letters of recommendation, and come into the time period in which we applied to residency feeling like I was not the least bit rushed. And so I liked that I was able to do that. And then quite honestly, I was able to stop working so hard and just kind of step back and give myself a break. So I absolutely love just how customizable our time is here. I'll start with the cons first. So I think this is a very personal decision, but we do have this condensed preclinical curriculum here. In a traditional medical school, you spend the first 2 years in the classroom and you spend your last 2 years in the clinics and in the hospitals. Here at Michigan, we only spend 1 year in classrooms and then the remaining 3 years in the hospitals. I think most of us really end up enjoying that because it means less time sitting in the library and more time actually doing the thing that we want to do. But I think what can be tricky about that is that that first year, and honestly, even the second year, they're very, very fast paced. I have never been in a traditional medical school, obviously, but sometimes it does kind of feel like you have a lot put on you at once. There's not really time to stop and take a break. And you're just kind of go, go, go for the first 2 years. Now, the benefit is that you have more time on the back end, but I do recognize that that might not be an ideal system for everybody. But I think the pro is really the flip side of that, which is that because we are able to condense the sitting in classrooms portion of the curriculum, we have so much free time, so much room to explore, so much time to become unique physicians on the back end of medical school. And I've thought that that's really awesome. So this was actually really great. So my branch, in patients and populations, they asked us a series of questions to get a sense of what our interests were, both inside and outside of the hospital. And through that, I ended up being partnered with Dr. Kwache, who is one of the colorectal surgeons here. And that was an absolutely fantastic partnership for me. We started meeting at the end of my M2 year, and she has continued to be one of my best mentors and supporters since that time. And in addition, she was a really good resource to help connect me with other people who had similar interests as me. I think that there are good systems set up to be able to connect you with mentors. But the other thing that I love about U of M is that as a whole, the community is super open to working with students. And so if you hear someone give a talk or you come across someone's work somewhere, it's totally within the what's expected to just shoot that person an email and say, hey, I'm a student, I'm interested in what you're working on. Can we schedule a conversation? And I've never had anybody turn me down for that. So I am applying into general surgery, and I really do feel prepared. I think the main reason for that is Michigan has high expectations of its students, even starting in your first clinical year, which is your second year of medical school. Really, from the time we set foot in the hospital, we're expected to be part of the patient care team. So you come in and you're immediately going to be writing progress notes. You are going to be presenting to attendings. You're going to be helping come up with plans for your patients, doing physical exams, all sorts of things. And the further you go into your education, the more you can lean into that responsibility, to the point that when I was a sub-intern, which is a type of rotation that we do in our third and fourth year to get additional experience in fields that we're interested in, I was allowed to really take on more of the role of being an intern and experience what that is like. So I feel that clinically we come out prepared really well. And then in the non-clinical sense, I have felt really supported. And I think it really comes back to Michigan's amazing culture of mentorship. The fact that I can send an email to a faculty member and have them get back to me quickly and offer to look over my CV or look over a personal statement or help me get connected with research mentors. All of these things have been extremely influential in helping me get where I am today. So I hope that was helpful, and I hope that you enjoy your time here with us at Michigan, and let me know if there's anything else that I can answer.